Watch posts. Are they good? Are they bad? Why do watch posts exist? Which watch posts are good? These are all the questions that I'm going to answer in this video. I hope you like it. Welcome to another D-Money video. Today's video, we're going to talk about watch posts, of course. Watch posts, if you're not familiar, they are a new type of card in Hearthstone. They don't have a specific type to them, but they are very unique. This is the first time we've seen something like this, where it's a minion that can't attack, but has an effect that disrupts your opponent. First, I want to cover the consensus of if watch posts are good or bad. So I did do a 24-hour stream on expansion day, played the game 24 hours straight, and after playing for that long, I have concluded, and a lot of other people have concluded as well, that watch posts are very good. And especially these first two watch posts right here, the Far watch post and the Morshan watch post. The Crossroads watch post, we haven't really seen do anything spectacular so far, but maybe it just hasn't been played enough. But so far, the watch posts that are shining are those two that I first mentioned there. The stats on these cards are very good, and the way that it disrupts your opponent in the early game, it makes it so if your opponent does want to kill them, they have to expend a significant amount of resources, which will hinder their start, and it will help you further your game plan, whatever that may be. So that's why watch posts, in my opinion, should go into basically every single deck. I think the only decks that watch posts don't go into are fully aggressive decks. That's because with fully aggressive decks, you want to spend your first few turns developing 1-drops, 2-drops that are not things that cannot attack. But in other decks like combo-oriented decks, control-oriented decks, even mid-range type decks as well, putting down these watch posts in the early game will just stall out a little bit and let you get whatever you want online while your opponent is at a disadvantage in some cases. Now, the Far watch post, in my opinion, is the best watch post out of the three, and that is because it has an overall good effect, and it doesn't require your opponent to play a minion on board. It will still disrupt their cards even without a minion being played, because there are some decks such as No Minion Mage, which does run only spells, and they will not usually play a minion for a little while. They do have Primordial Studies and Font of Power, but the Far watch post will always generate value for you by making your opponent's cards cost more, and it will make them usually want to attack into it. Now, in some cases, your opponent may just play minions anyway and still beat you down, but the Far watch post making their cards cost more, it basically just gives you more time. It makes your opponent's plays generally weaker, and it's just overall good for you. So I know a lot of people are frustrated with watch posts. I mean, I am kind of frustrated with them too, because they are so powerful, and it really, at this point, it kind of seems like if you don't run watch posts in your deck, then you're kind of throwing. But why do watch posts exist? So I think watch posts are great for the game, but they're also bad for the game. And the way that they're great for the game is they give decks tools to really delay your opponent, like I talked about before, and try to get your cards online, try to get your combos online. And it's nice to have options when it comes to making decks for disrupting your opponent, because in the past we've seen recent past we've seen OTK decks, or one-turn kill decks, like Combo DH and Combo Mozaki Mage. We've seen them be too strong, and there was really no way to disrupt them. For instance, decks like No Minion Mage and Miracle Rogue, and even more, they do draw a lot of cards currently, so Far watch post gives you a way to counter that meta. So while I do think that watch posts are good for the game, the part where watch posts become bad for the game is when they're so strong that you run them in basically every single deck. In my opinion, you shouldn't be forced to run watch posts in mid-range kind of decks. It should just be an option, and it shouldn't be as strong as they currently are. I can totally see Far Watch Post becoming a 2-3 in the future, and Morshan Watch Post is a little worse. It's a little more situational, but it could still use a little change as well. Of course, the reason why Crossroads Watch Post has been used a lot less is because it costs more mana, so it's harder to run in your deck, it's harder to get down earlier on in the game, and it interacts with only spells, so your opponent can just play around it fairly easily unless they are the no minion mage. But your opponent can usually just play minions, smack you in the face, and this card really doesn't do anything unless you taunt it up, which we haven't really seen the use of Argus just yet. Argus did get a buff in the core set to a 3-3, but not sure if that's going to be good enough. It is pretty slow. But yeah, that is my video on watch posts. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you maybe learned a little bit on like watch posts in general and different perspectives on the cards themselves. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I plan on putting out more educational content like this. I want to put out some extensive deck guides with no gameplay, just fully explaining how the deck works, and more videos like this where I talk about and explain certain cards and archetypes. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Have a good day.